Hello, this video is going to explain the mysterious play on SPD SL pedals that sometimes, even when you have everything set up correctly, you're still going to get that play in the pedal. Now, the play that I'm talking about, and I removed the entire shaft already so that way you can see it outside of the pedal. This is the right, this is the left. And for me, in two pedal sets, the left side started to give play, not the right side, only the left. So it got me to investigate why it was happening only on the left side of both pedals. This is the right side here. And no play, minimal, absolutely good. Hey, that's perfect. Okay, now let's go to the left side. That's not normal. That's way too much play. And even if you tighten the nut here, it's still going to be like that. It's not going to be as much, but you're still going to have a play like that. Now, underneath your foot, you're going to feel that. Now, at first, I thought it was the cleat, and I checked to make sure that the bolts were tightened, that the shoe wasn't moving around. No problem. So it all tracked down to this. So I took both bearings out. I redid both bearings to make sure, but still, I can never get rid of that play. So I started to investigate this further, and I found out why this is happening. So I'm going to prove to you that Shimano really has a bad design for these pedals. So I'm going to remove this here as best as I can, as quickly as I can here. Okay, I'm gonna open this up. So I'm trying to make this video as live as possible so that there's no cuts, because I don't like that. I don't like when people do cuts with a video because you don't know what happened in between. Okay, now the little balls will fall, so don't worry about it. This will happen. But I have to show this to you in live mode with no cuts, because you need to see exactly how I figured out what the problem was. And you're probably gonna run into it as well. Okay, we're gonna take this race out, put the balls there. And more balls will fall off, don't worry about that. Here we go. Now we're starting to see why we're having this problem. Okay, so we'll get rid of those there, get rid of those. Get rid of those, it's gonna be messy. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a towel here. So I'm trying to do this live with no cuts, so that way you don't think that I'm pulling your chain here. So this is what you should be getting at the end here. Okay, one more there. Okay, there you go. So I'm gonna clean this now. Get rid of this and clean it really quick. Okay, this is what you should get when you're done. When you remove everything. And that's what you should be getting. And now we start to get at the heart of the problem. Whoever designed this pedal must have been on something very, very high end. Because this is why there's play. Because it's a plastic sleeve that's there. So what happens with this, and I'll show you on the other pedal on the right side, this bearing is actually not here. I've always find this a bit interesting when I open things up and I will take a look at the manufacturing and the engineering behind it. Who in their right mind would put a bearing on the outside but not here? This is held on to your pedal mount, so okay, everything is fine on your crank. But from this point to that point, there is nothing except this thing here. That sleeve. And it's not very big. I'm going to remove it so I can show it to you. So this sleeve here is all there is to protect the pedal from the play. That's it. There is nothing from that end there all the way there. This is the only piece that's actually stopping the play. Now, we're not talking about a play on the bearing itself where you have noises. We're not talking about that. We're talking about side play here at the actual mount point. So in here, this is the sleeve that you have, and I'm going to remove it very slowly so you can see that I'm not lying to you. that this is exactly what the problem is right here. So I'm gonna go probably from the other side to remove it. It'll be probably easier. There you go. So this little sleeve right here is the problem, right there. So basically this sleeve here is the only thing that's stopping the play on the mount side of the cranks. Now, if you look at this, you don't have to be an engineer or a mechanical engineer or any kind of engineer to understand that this is absolutely idiotic. And it gets worse. Now, let's put this through. See how much play is there actually without that. So that's why we're getting the play. Now, to understand why this is happening, why is this sleeve going bad? That's exactly what's happening. That's the problem. It's the sleeve. The sleeve is being worn down. But why is it happening? Now, this sleeve here, I'll leave it there so you can see it. Clean up a bit more here before we get talking about it here. So this sleeve, we're actually going to draw in here. When you're riding your pedal and your crank arm is here attached and the other one's here attached, if your foot creates a perfect circle movement, which in this case would be the right one, but some foots, I say feet, like your left or your right, sometimes does not rotate at a perfect angle, straight. I have my left foot, it's a bit on the inside. The toes point a bit towards the inside, so you would just the cleat for that position because you don't want to have your foot straight because that's going to hurt your foot. So you always set up the cleat with the foot position that you're most comfortable with. So in my case, it's not straight. The right foot is straight, but the left foot tips in a bit inside. Now we start looking at this problem. Why am I having a problem with the left sides of the pedals? Now we understand why. Because when the pedal is rotating, in this case the left, when it's rotating, this metal shaft here is rotating inside this. It's actually revving up against it. Like this. Do you see how it doesn't hold on to it anymore? It's not very tight. It's very loose. And that's what that play is. That's because my foot, the left foot, is actually, instead of going around in a perfect rotation, smooth rotation, so this goes very smoothly, it's doing this. Over time, this sleeve is being elongated. It's being expanded because the metal contact with it. So that's basically what's happening to it. It's being elongated, so it's wider than it should. The problem is, now you have to get this sleeve from a supplier somewhere that sells them in order to fix this problem. So there is nothing wrong with the actual bearings themselves. The bearings are perfect. I've set them up as perfectly as I could with super smooth rotation. Unfortunately, because of this sleeve, because of my foot having an inside angle, it adds a rotation torsion effect to this shaft, to the pedal shaft. And that is what causes damage to this white sleeve here. So you can see that's too loose. It's very, very loose, okay? So that is what's happening to this pedal. So unfortunately, that's it. That's the problem. That little plastic sleeve is the problem. It's not this one here, that one there. So unfortunately, unless you can get these sleeves, this problem cannot be fixed. You have to get a new pedal because a new pedal comes in with a new sleeve. Okay? So that's the problem with the Shimano SPD SL pedals and why sometimes you may have a play on the outer board section near the crank, and then you remove the pedal and you check this out and everything feels smooth. There's nothing wrong with this, no play at all. If you keep it here and move it, there's absolutely no play between the bearings. It's absolutely as perfect as it can be. No problem. Smooth on both sides. So that's what's happening with these pedals. Because my right side rotates at a perfect angle, a straight angle like this, it doesn't happen to the right side. I don't get that damage on it. But on every single left pedal, I've gone through 2 sets already, And it's the same thing every time. The left pedal goes bad all the time. The right one, I can keep using from the old set. The left pedal always goes bad. And it comes down to this sleeve right there. So if you can see it there on the camera there, that's the sleeve that goes bad. It gets expanded and then can't hold on the shaft because it's metal. It rubs up against it and eventually expands it. So personally, in my opinion, what Shimano should have done, I'm just gonna kind of put it through here. What Shimano should have done was extended this this bearing section all the way to here. Like from here all the way to there, and put the balls here and put the other balls on the other side. I think that would probably work out better, because having a short section here at the end and nothing here to support it except that sleeve is silly, in my opinion. That's very silly what they did. You can see here there's absolutely nothing here. There's a little rubber gasket here, but that doesn't do anything. That's just for dust. Doesn't do anything. So all this section here is completely open. The only thing that's stopping the play is this little thing here. That's it. There's nothing else. So pretty crazy that Shimano decided on an idea like this. That's just silly. Very, very silly. Anyways, for any mechanic out there for bikes who has somebody that comes in and is having trouble with their SPD SL pedals, that's the problem. So if you can get this sleeve from Shimano, if you can order it, brand new sleeves, or they're not expanded yet, you can fix the pedal. The pedal will be back to normal, provided that you redo the bearings properly, just like here. They're smooth. There's no play. So hold on to this like this with your hand and move that back and forth. If it doesn't move, and it moves smoothly, it's just stop it. You've achieved a good movement on it. Smooth and perfect, no noise. So at any rate, I hope this video helped you out. And in case if you're having that play at the end here on this section, which is kind of bizarre because everything else is fine. Well, that's because this little sleeve here is that's all that's stopping the shaft from having play. That's it right there. You would think it would be something more important, but no, this little silly sleeve here is the problem. It gets expanded because it's in contact with the metal. The metal pushes against it and it expands it. So, hope this video helped. If you can find these sleeves, order them, especially if you're going to be using SPD SL pedals for a while. Order these things because these things are going to go out way before your metal balls inside here. And any part here at the top. This will last you a long, long time. This here, the way that some people ride their bicycle, and if you have a very big angle on the inside, and it could be on the right side too, as well. If it's on the right side pointing in, you're going to have the problem on the right side. So if your left foot is straight and the right foot is curving in, you're going to have the problem on the right foot. If it's the other way, straight foot, left foot going in, you're going to have the same problem. If it's a left foot that's curving out, same problem. Right foot curving out, same problem. As if your feet are straight, you will not have this problem with the sleeve being expanded. As soon as your foot is curved in or out, you're adding torsion. You're not adding a straight power torsion to it. You're adding a twisting motion to it. That's what expands that little sleeve. So thanks for watching. Take care. And leave some comments to see if it happened to you. It did happen to me, and this was kind of freaky until I took the whole pedal apart, and I actually peeked in here and looked at it, and I thought, well, maybe this long sleeve is the problem. Well, long and behold, the sleeve does not actually go all the way through. It's just a tiny little piece here, and that's it. So take care, and have a good day.